How's it going, everybody? It's your boy, Chabriri's Woe here. And yes, I'm talking about Shadowraven Studios again, and hopefully this is for the last time, because let's put it this way, with the sequence of events that have happened recently, I've basically just been given the biggest slam dunk win humanly possible, that at this point, unless something absolutely fucking insane happens regarding Shadowraven Studios, I'm probably not going to bother with him again, and judging by the views on a lot of my more recent Shadowraven Studios videos, some of you guys are also getting just as tired of this garbage just as much as I am. Now, of course, I can't really say the same for anybody else that plans on making their own videos about Shadowraven Studios. From what I've heard, possibly Rince is going to start working on his own video about Shadowraven Studios, Destructor might make his own response video to Shadowraven, and of course my friend Domino has a video coming out at some point in the near future that is going a bit more in depth on some of the things I'm going to be starting off this video with. But that's really about it. In terms of anything else, I'm probably just going to kind of wash my hands of this situation and move on to bigger and better subjects, at least once this tropical storm that's probably about to hit me directly, you know, kind of passes over and hopefully my house and all of my electronics survive in the process. Today we're going to be talking about some of the more recent things, and we'll first start off with some of the things that this new individual called Good Guy Dave and Enclave Forever basically decided to put within my live stream chat on my most recent live stream as of even recording this video, which was of course, well, Shadowraven having yet another derangement syndrome episode, and trust me, we'll be going over the first like 5 or so minutes of his most recent attempted hit piece on me, because as per usual, all of his arguments are made within like the first 5 minutes, and then beyond there it is mainly just him, well, getting mad at a straw man, so. But, basically, you know, within the live stream chat, first, of course, we have the Good Guy Dave individual, which unfortunately he did end up getting hidden, but whatever, I guess that's just a thing that ends up happening. Again, I have no control over what my mods decide to do, if I'm gonna be completely honest. But of course, this Good Guy Dave individual basically completely admits that they're perfectly fine with stealing mods, and even just stating that they're perfectly fine with stealing mods that, you know, are stolen from people that they don't like. And then, of course, the Enclave Forever guy ended up showing up, where he basically admitted that he was perfectly fine with sending death threats to people who he didn't like as well.
Things to what now?
We only send death threats to people who support Urius. Again! Clip it! Clip it! Clip it! They just admitted to sending death threats. Mods, clip his ass right now.
We only do these things to Urus supporters.
Even just going as far as to claim that apparently he's okay with sending death threats to, quote, Urius supporters, which again, I have yet to even be given a clear answer as to who this Urius guy is. Like, for all intents and purposes, this Urius guy just doesn't even exist, and these guys are just getting mad at a ghost, but whatever at this point. But of course, what makes things even more interesting is, of course, well, this conversation that ended up happening within the comment section of Rince's most recent video, mainly on Andy Pants, where Dave ended up just showing up, trying to start shit, and later on down the line, basically just admitted that apparently Shadowraven Studios and apparently even All Out Monty apparently have their weird rule about being against talking to children, because apparently weird shit would end up happening if they were in the same exact, you know, call with a minor. This Confederacy is really sending its best and brightest, isn't it? But of course, my friend Domino is planning on going a little bit more in depth on these screenshots at some point, and I will announce that on my community page, so be sure to keep an eye out on that. But anyways, now with that out of the way, let's actually get into Shadowraven's most recent fucking attempted hit piece here, which is quite literally called, like, the Mod Theft Police or something along those lines, basically showing that he doesn't actually give a shit that his site is stealing mods, and of course, well, as expected, I'm going to be ripping this fucking thing a new one. At least, you know, his primary arguments right here. So, without any further ado, let us sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, and let's just dive right in.
Before I begin, I want to apologize to everyone for my last podcast, since I was displaying anger in episode 2.
For those of you wondering what his last podcast was, it was his weird attempted hit piece on Destructor. To put it very simply, his hit piece on Destructor was absolutely fucking terrible, and not even Destructor was willing to take it seriously. So, yeah, that just kind of goes to show you that this man is just terrible at making fucking hit pieces. I find it funny that now his attempts at hit pieces are now just going to be behind these, like, fucking, like, 30-something minute long podcast videos that ain't nobody in their right mind is ever going to watch from beginning to end unless they have that serious level of morbid curiosity. Which, again, I did. I decided to listen to the entire thing myself, and it's just not good. It's just not a good attempt at trying to make a hit piece on me.
But in this episode, there are 2 subjects I'm going to cover, and not just one. Moment of Sanity, the douchebag woke creator on YouTube, made a video attacking the DLC Fun website, saying the website is a scam website and the website is also stealing mods from the Nexus Mods website. I can tell you guys, this guy shows more and more how pathetic he is.
I have absolutely no idea what in the hell you're even talking about, and I don't know how you think that it's apparently pathetic for me to point out that your website is, well, exactly that. In fact, I quite literally show evidence of such things happening. Which is, of course, why you probably did this behind a podcast episode, because now you at least have an excuse to not show video evidence and you can just only show screenshots.
I hate to break it to you, dumbass, but you're wrong. The DLC Fun website is a legitimate website where you can get mods, and the website contains a large library of games you can get mods for.
Yeah, the same also applies to fucking Nexus Mods. Yet, to put it very simply, the main difference between DLC Fun and Nexus Mods is that Nexus Mods at least has original fucking mods. And I'm not even saying this because I'm like a super fan of Nexus Mods. I pointed this out time and time again. I don't give a shit about Nexus Mods at the end of the day. Like, the Nexus Mods website could literally go down the following day, and I wouldn't lose sleep over it, right? Like, that's how little I care about Nexus Mods. I've only used it, like, once, and beyond there, my experience with Nexus Mods is, like, supremely fucking limited. Like, I just do not care enough. I don't care as much as you fucking do.
This douche canoe, who is actually running a harassment campaign against anti-woke creators and also conservative creators, clearly doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Because, according to an article that I read from a law firm, it clearly states that these mods that these mod authors are creating are actually infringing on these video games. So it is basically saying the one who actually has rights to these mods is the developers and the companies who make these video games.
Oh boy, there's so much to fucking unpack here. To put it very simply, there are quite literally 3 slam dunk fucking arguments against this stupid ass argument right here. I'll make the first one right now because, let's just put it this way, that was never an argument that I made. I never made a fucking argument of legality, I made an argument of fucking morals and ethics, which of course at this point, considering that we now know that he's apparently weird around children, I'm not too surprised that he can't seem to tell the difference between morals and the law, so I might as well just quickly point out the second method of attack, which is literally using his own source against him. So my friend Game Penguin decided to actually pull up the source himself, and he actually ended up finding out that quite literally, like, a few paragraphs later, it points out that, well, in some cases, and I will read this word for word for you right now, a copyright holder has the right to enforce the rights to their work, but they also have the right to not enforce as well. Therefore, a mod is legal only for as long as the rights holder chooses to let it exist. To put it very simply, it quite literally states that the mods are basically still technically legal, per se, because the developers will either just let it exist, will give the okay for it to exist, or just don't give enough of a fuck to actually, like, bother enforcing their, like, copyright or whatever on it. Literally his own fucking source completely contradicts him later on in this fucking same exact article, and I will leave it down below for you guys to read for yourself if you guys really want to read more into it. It basically just points out that, well, yes, I guess mods technically do in fact infringe on the original game's copyright. It basically doesn't really matter at the end of the day because most developers don't actually give enough of a fuck, and because of that, it really can't be legally enforced. Probably the only, like, example of, like, you know, a game's publisher deciding to go out of their way to, like, you know, actively go against mods or anything like that is probably Nintendo, but that's fucking Nintendo, alright? Nintendo is basically known for just being fucking stupid. But yeah. But of course, the third method of attack is, well, again, kind of using his own fucking argument against him. By his own fucking admission, he's basically admitting that his website is in fact illegal and illegitimate, because he's basically hosting a website full of stuff that infringes on the copyright of video games. And here's the thing, unlike Shadowraven, I'm willing to apply this both ways and point out that yes, that also means that Nexus Mods is also hosting a similar website. But I think what makes it even worse is that, as far as I know, Nexus Mods isn't making a total profit off of, like, you know, the mods that infringe on copyright. Meanwhile, your own fucking website, this DLC Fun website, is turning a profit with the stolen mods that are also infringing on copyright. So yeah, like, your own fucking argument just doesn't even fucking work because, 1, it wasn't an argument that I ever bothered to make, 2, it completely misses the point of the entire video, and also 3, your own fucking source speaks against you.
In other words, dumbass, the DLC Fun is not breaking any laws, and they are not stealing mods. That is the mods that they have on their website.
Again, my entire video shows off fucking evidence, and I even showed off even more evidence within the live stream where I actually covered this. In fact, I showed off a lot more mods that are just blatantly stolen and ripped from fucking Nexus mods. And again, I have to point out that your own fucking source speaks against you.
Meanwhile, Nexus mods, on the other hand, in the past, they have tried to make claims on these mods. Yes, they've tried that. They tried that on many different people, and they have no documentation and no legal claim.
Neither does your fucking website, so what the hell are you even talking about at this fucking point? Again, at this point, you're just completely... You've just lost the entire plot, and we aren't even, like, 3 minutes in. You've lost the plot within, like, the first, like, fucking, like... You've lost the plot in the first 2.5 minutes, dude.
But outside of the subject, and also outside of my video work, gents and ladies, there was a lot I've been dealing with and putting up with for the past couple of weeks, and it has to do with this hate campaign who is going after anti-woke creators and conservative creators. And the ones who are responsible for creating this hate group is the channel Destructor on YouTube, Moment of Sanity on YouTube, also Xanderhall and their entire group of followings, who are coming after anti-woke creators and conservative creators.
Oh boy, let me fucking dissect every last bit of this, because not only is this a supremely fucking stupid argument, but your own fucking argument can be used against you because there's a lot more evidence of you basically pulling this kind of similar shit, but to an even worse extent. So let's quickly break things down here. So, in terms of a, quote, hate campaign against anti-woke creators, none of us are in a fucking hate campaign against anti-woke creators. We have just kind of been talking about them because they make some of the dumbest fucking arguments. And quite literally, the only anti-woke creators that we've even been talking about outside of you at this point recently is just fucking Andy Pants, because he's like a prime fucking punching bag that basically destroyed his own career, like, in the span of like 2 fucking live streams. Like, the dude is basically just a walking fucking clown show at this point. Like, it's just not even funny. When it comes to Xanderhall, well, he's been basically making fun of, like, anti-woke losers for as long as I've been willing to look back at his backlog of videos. Like, he's been doing this shit for a fucking long-ass time, so he's just been doing this even before I even hopped onto the bandwagon of making fun of anti-woke losers. Like, he's been doing this shit before it was cool, to put it very simply. And in regards to me, well, I've already fucking pointed out the only other anti-woke creator that I've really talked about is probably just Andy Pants, but to a lesser extent than Rince has, but whatever. But it's not a hate campaign, it is just us doing our jobs as commentary channels to make fun of stupid people. Like, it's not a fucking hate campaign. I guess you would see it as a hate campaign, considering that you think that criticism is hate at this point, which is just a very, very fucking stupid mindset to have. But on top of that, too, let's quickly point out all the different things that you have done, okay? First of all, let's quickly go back to how this all started, with your weird fucking hit piece where you attempted to actually start a hate campaign against a mod developer, all because you were given the information that this mod developer was allegedly trans and bisexual. Let's quickly point out that after I made my video on you, you proceeded to make video after video after I pointed out that I wanted to fucking end the entire situation.
Going everybody, Lancer from Deltarune here. I thought I might as well at least just make one last video on this particular individual, and then finally close the book on this man. After all, this man is probably patiently awaiting an actual response video from me, so I feel like I might as well just give that to him before finally just forgetting his existence.
Once again, you are the main reason why this shit even still keeps on going, because you keep dragging people back into it. It's your fucking fault at this point. And another thing, too, is, of course, threatening to strike our channels, threatening to take down fair use videos, threatening to take down archive channels, which you actually have already taken down a couple of archive channels, actually threatening to dox and kill said archive channels.
Now you listen to me, you fucking piece of shit. This is gonna stop, because what you're doing is going too far. This is gonna stop right now. You keep going with this, things are gonna happen. I will pull your IP address, and I will turn you into the authorities. Because what you're doing right now, it does constitute as harassment. So, you're gonna desist right now, you little bitch, or things will happen to you. Really bad things will happen to you. Guarantee it.
Actually attempting to dox said archive channels, and also failing because they were burner accounts with fake names attached to them, so there's that. Continuously trying to run this really stupid smear campaign of calling me a groomer, and your only evidence of me being a groomer is just being pro-LGBT, and that is quite literally about it. Continuing this weird hate campaign against a mod that at this point, not even the developers themselves give a shit about anymore, and to just completely round this all off, just you acting like a fucking moron. There's more evidence of you running a fucking hate campaign than any of us. All we've been doing is just documenting stupidity. What you've actually been doing is targeted fucking harassment.
And if anybody should know, I should know out of anybody, because they've been coming after me, and I have proof they've been coming after me. And the reason they're targeting me is because I am working with a mod hosting website that happens to be a competitor against Nexus Mods. And the reason they're doing this is because they are Nexus Mods fanboys.
I've already dispelled this earlier, but I might as well repeat it again because I know that your skull is as dense as fucking tungsten. I do not give a fuck about Nexus Mods. You thinking that the reason why I decided to come after you is because you're working with a shitty mod hosting website that is literally yoinking mods from other websites with original mods on them is not the reason why. Again, this all started because you made a flaccid fucking video about fucking Fallout Ashfall, and now you're basically just literally doing targeted harassment against me and people that I'm associated with because I called your dumbass out. Like, that's literally it. You're the reason why this keeps on going, as I've already pointed out.
They want to be the only mod hosting website to exist on the internet. That is why these goons have been coming after me and doing the most devious shit on the internet. One of the things that's been happening is, it is apparent that Moment of Sanity is clearly butthurt about something regarding me and what I did, and he cannot let this go, because even after I left YouTube, and I only been working on my videos on Rumble, he has been making video after video after video after video and after video with my brand name still into it.
Do you want to know the reason why? It's because you came back to YouTube. Sure, you aren't going to actually tell that to your fucking Rumble audience because, well, that would completely and totally just like, you know, take away from your entire point of I'm not returning to YouTube. But the reason why I started talking about you again is because you returned to YouTube and started making threats of copyright strikes. And then after that, your goons started to come after me and I started documenting them. And because you kept on digging yourself a fucking grave, that's why I continue to talk about you. If we're gonna be talking about people who are butthurt, shall we talk about you coming back after you nuked your own channel after uploading fucking Lolicon? After you stated on your Rumble that, oh, I'm not gonna return to YouTube, meanwhile you return to YouTube and harass people. Like, dude, this is a fucking grave of your own creation. I mean, hell, if we're gonna be talking about people who are butthurt, if we're gonna be talking about things that he's probably butthurt about, I might as well just, you know what, at this point, I'm tired of just telling people to look for one particular video. I might as well show the segment of that particular video that he is more than likely still mad at me for.
Ashfall, dude, you're nothing but a little shit-talking pussy bitch, too. Now I see why these guys are coming after him. Honestly, I don't blame them for coming after him. Because you're nothing but a shit-talking...
Oh boy, this is where the fun begins. So you're probably taking a look at some of these screenshots that he's showing off here of Ashfall Dude and thinking to yourself, holy shit, the man seems unhinged. No, I'm talking about Ashfall Dude in this fucking case, not Shadow Raven Studios, Jesus Christ. But wouldn't you believe it, these screenshots are in fact fake. How do I know this? Because I can fucking prove it to you. Because, wouldn't you know it, I know the source of where he got these screenshots from, and these were the immediate tip-off that he fell for this shit, hook, line, and sinker. So allow me to just quickly show you a few things here. So, as you can see here, here's my main Discord account. Here's my main Discord server, as you can see right here. Lots of cool people in there. Be sure to check out my server. Lots of servers in here that, honestly, I could probably do with nuking from existence, considering how inactive I am in half of these. And of course, here's my DM correspondence with Freshio Mama, as you can see right here. Nothing really crazy happened here other than just sharing information and making fun of everyone that's on Mr. Raven's side here. And of course, you know, it's revealed later that apparently Freshio Mama is apparently a miner that works on this, and trust me, I have my own things. Apparently, Mr. Raven here has a problem with that, but I will elaborate on that when it becomes important, alright? As you can see here, here's me, here's my main account. This I probably need to change because I'm not nearly as sick as I was yesterday. But as you can see here, Account Burner 58. Does that name sound familiar? Well, it should, because wouldn't you believe it, but it's that same account that I showed off within that community post, because the Burner58 account was literally just me the entire time. And it was so unbelievably easy to catch this man hook, line, and sinker. In fact, as you can see right here, here's my DM correspondence with Mr. Raven himself. And as you can see here, here is all of the screenshots that I sent him as, quote, proof. And he shows these things off. Holy shit, this is by far some of the saddest garbage that could possibly be imagined. And here he is right here. And of course, the fact that this video even exists further proves that this shit happened. This man fell for some obvious fucking bait, hook, line, and sinker. Also, can I just point out here, male, there are only 2 genders. Jesus fucking Christ, you couldn't even think of anything original to actually put in there? Come on, you had the entire world at your fingertips and you just decide to fumble it so fucking easy.
I don't usually make videos without a reason. I make videos because there's a reason to do so. When there's a major update, that's when I make a video. The only reason why I keep making videos is because you keep digging the grave. You keep giving me content. You keep giving me excuses to laugh at you. But like I mentioned before, this is basically about it. That's basically all of his main arguments. It is him constantly projecting, constantly claiming that he's not butthurt, while also being extremely butthurt over the fact that I have basically just won handily already within the first season, and he just keeps on coming back and getting bodied again. And on top of that too, it's just more of the same. Again, I've watched the entire thing myself. It is not that impressive. In fact, it is just genuinely fucking pathetic. But that's basically going to do it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like. That's very well appreciated. Leave a comment down below what you thought about the video, what you want me to talk about next, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to see more content such as this. Also, go ahead and follow me on Twitter, and join the Discord server if you feel like doing so. And yeah, anyways guys, it's been Sandy, and have yourselves a nice day.